Hello, this is Manesh Patel from the EII Capital Group. Today we're going to be discussing the Chikou span, which is the third Ichimoku indicator that's available out there. This is the fourth video series out of six or seven that we're going to be creating that goes for all of the individual Ichimoku indicators. Normal procedure, here's a disclaimer. These videos are for educational purpose only. All the charts are basically created in the Thinkorswim platform. You could go to www.thinkorswim.com and you could get all the information on regards to charting and brokerage from them. Here's my contact details. You can go to eiicapital.com and you can see all the resources and information that's available for free. Okay, we're going to go straight into the charts. Now, today, right now, we are going to go for the Chikou indicator. This is this purple line. And if you remember from the first video that we did on what is Ichimoku, we talked about it, and basically it was the current price that we have right now. It is shifted back 26 periods. Okay, so since this is a 2-hour chart, that shifted back to 120 minutes times 26, and that's basically where the Chikou indicator is located. Okay. Now, the key here is that you look at the Chikou indicator and then you look at where price is on that particular day. And if you look, this is where price is. Okay? And so if the Chikou is below the price from 26 periods ago, that basically means it's bearish. If the Chikou was right here, like if you look at the Chikou here, if it was above the price from 26 days ago, that's bullish. If you look right here on the day that this occurred, where price was right in the middle of price, sorry, if the Chikou is right in the middle of price, that basically means consolidation. Okay, this is your momentum indicator. Okay, so now you know when it's bullish, bearish, or consolidating. Okay, but then what you need to do is you need to figure out if it's strong, weak, or what it is. And the reason why is this is what's going to make or break your trend. Okay, so this is going to tell you if your account's going to be up a little and then go down, or if it's going to be up a lot because the trend's going to continue on and on and on for a while. Okay, this is your momentum indicator. What you like to do is sit there and take the Chikou and kind of draw mentally in your mind a square box around here. That box is basically drawn in time, which goes out probably 5 to 10 more periods out. And then you kind of want to draw it in terms of price too, where you kind of look almost like 1% above, 1% down. Now, it could be 1%, it could be a 1.5%. It's something that you have to determine yourself. But you draw an imaginary box. And what you want to do is, in that imaginary box, you want to see if price is going to hit that imaginary box at all. If it doesn't, that means you're good to go and you have a lot of momentum on your side. Okay? Now, one key thing is, let's say you were here, okay? You drew a mental box here. What could have happened is if the day that the Chikou was here, if price had gone down 1% or 2% the next day, you would sit there still your Chikou would still hit price. If it consolidated sideways for 5 or 10 periods, you still would hit price. That's not good at all. That's telling you that basically every time the Chikou hits price, you're going to run into consolidation problems. Okay, you don't want that at all. You want the Chikou in open space, open black space over here. The more open space you have it, the momentum you're going to get. And it's going to keep on moving and your trend's going to keep on going. If you look at this chart right now, okay, this is in open space. If you draw an imaginary line, there's no price at all around it at all. So this really has a lot of bearish momentum right now on there. And this can sit there and trend pretty nicely going down. Okay, now if the Chikou, let's say, was right here, there would not be much momentum until price kind of clears out over here and kind of goes below this price some more and kind of comes in this open space. Okay, so based on that, what you could sit there and do is you could sit there and draw a line and say, okay, you know what? If the Chikou is here until it comes down to here, I'm not comfortable with this at all. Okay, so you really want the Chikou to come down to here and touch this line, which is the current closing price. So you want the price to come down to here. Once it comes down to here, then you don't mind entering a trade going to the bearish side. Reason why would have cleared everything out there. That's assuming the Chikou is close to here. Okay, so you could kind of predict where you want price to be for this momentum indicator to help you. Okay, it's very, very key you do this and you kind of do forecasting into the future with this indicator. Because if you don't, you're going to kind of not, you're going to get into a trade, may get some profits, and then all of a sudden it's going to reverse on you. You really don't want that scenario at all. You want to get into a trade and then you want the trend to sit there and push that trade going forward where your account goes positive more and more and more. Okay, it's unfortunate, but a lot of people actually ignore the Chikou indicator. I don't know why, but they just don't understand it, but they ignore it. Okay. The other thing is just like the Cajunson and the Tinkinson, if this Chikou is in the Kumo cloud, that means consolidation can occur. If you look at this chart right now, the E-mini S&P futures, this Chikou, as it goes down, is going to run in this cloud. So that's a major problem. Okay. So you really, really have to be very careful of that. So what's going to happen is if this comes here, you really want the Chikou to kind of be down here before you can get into open space so that it doesn't have any problems with the cloud at all. Okay, so you kind of set the alert here and wait for the price to come to this point. Once it does, then you come back and look at this chart and examine it some further. Okay, the other thing to note, and we're going to quickly note this, is if you take these peaks right here and you draw a line across them, if you have 2 or 3 more peaks that are hit, like here, here, and if you kind of shrink this down, you'll see that it kind of intersects some other peaks. There's one minor one here, you can't see it. But either way, those are major support resistance lines that you're drawing. I typically draw only resistance lines that meet 2 or 3 peaks. Okay, reason why is you can't sit there and draw a line for every peak, because if you do, you're going to have lines all over the place. Okay, you only want to see the ones that where 2 or 3 or more peaks hit that line. If they do, those are major support resistance lines. And if you're a Fibonacci trader, believe it or not, they will match up to your major Fibonacci values to a T. The 318, the 681, the 786, and so forth. So take a look at that and keep on looking for those scenarios and you'll see that. But that is very, very key on finding some major support resistance lines. Okay, so if you're sitting there trading this, you want to sit there, and if you want to enter a bearish trade based on the Chikou, you got to at least wait for the Chikou to come down here. So the best thing to do is put an alert down here and wait for the alert to be triggered before you enter that trade.